भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः विषेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु वेदशास्त्रपुराणानां विशेषार्थप्रकाशकं सर्वविद्यास्वरूपं तं हयग्रीवं नमाम्यहं महामन्त्रप्रदातारं माधुर्यभावसागरं मधुकृष्णस्वरूपं तं महाप्रभुं नमाम्यहं राधारससुधारूपां राधाप्रेममुदान्वितां राधासेवनिमग्नान्तां नमामि रूपमञ्जरीं श्रीगोविन्दप्रियां राज्ञीं वृन्दावनमनोहरीं कृपास्वरूपिणीं दिव्यां राधादेवीं नमाम्यहम्. Good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I convey my deep sense of gratitude to the organizers of Bharati Vidya Bhavan and ISKCON to have given me this great opportunity. See, I'm a little scared to speak in the presence of great Vedic scholars like our Dr. P. Ramanujan. He is an institution by himself. I am like Ekalaiva, I have been observing from a distance, but the contribution which he has done and his scholarship is unparalleled. I think Bangalore should be fortunate to have him in its midst. Therefore, I would like to offer my salutations to him, and then I start my presentation on the environmental focus of the Vedas. See, now, if you look at what is happening, there is global warming, extreme heat is there, rise in seawater level, melting of the glaciers, drastic climatic changes, air pollution, industrial emissions, gases, carbon monoxide, then coming to the water pollution, depletion of the underground water, saltish, urbanization issues, chemical pollutants, piling of the garbage, packaged goods. I think with the advent of the consumerism, we have a lot of wastage generated because of the packaged items, which we had a very natural way of resolving. And then you have the toxic fertilizers and pesticides, the harmful side effects, and the midday meal scheme. Children lost their life due to pesticides in the water. To that extent, human beings have degraded. Then you have got genetically modified seeds, BT brinjal, BT cotton, whatnot. Then the biodiversity is destroyed in the guise of growth and development. 2/3 of the world's species may disappear in the 21st century. For all these things, there is only one answer, that is the human greed. See, we are not looking this side or that side, only looking our selfish interests all the time, and which has deteriorated the quality of life in this planet. Now, this is a very mundane subject. What is that Vedas have got to do? Is the understanding of the Vedas going to help us in any way? Or just like that we want to say that it is there in the Vedas and we are not following like that? Now let us see. Now, you see how the consumeristic tendencies have developed over a period of time. I don't want to name the religion, but there are certain theologies which say if we are to go forward, we must go back and rediscover those precious values, that all reality hinges on moral foundations and that all reality has spiritual control. That is from Martin Luther King. Now, the Vedas, they have the basic materials regarding all facets of knowledge that has been coming out day in and day out due to various seminars and also to various initiatives taken by different people. We know that what is happening. Now coming to the theology, which has started the consumeristic tendencies, be fruitful and increase in number. Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground. This is a very important statement from a theology which I don't want to mention. But this has propelled men to think that he is the master of the entire universe. Now, coming to the subject, environment and ecology, there is a subtle distinction. Environment is about the surrounding or the habitation with the human focus, but ecology looks at other beings as well. Therefore, that makes the difference between environment and ecology. Environment is more about the take aspect, whereas ecology is all about the give and take. As human beings, you have to live. We will also be consuming the resources, but we will also be contributing something to the other beings. Only in the Vedas we talk about, we think about, we pray about the other beings like plants, animals, birds and beasts, and what not. See the beautiful Shanti Pata which says, Tatachandyoravanimahe gadun yajnaya gadun yajnapadaye daivi swastirastunaha swastirmanushebhya urdhanjigad bhedjam shanno astudhyapade sanchatushpate. In this one sentence, the Vedic vision is coming to light. It is beautifully integrating the human beings. It also wishes all goodness for the plant life and for the cattle and for all. Therefore, this type of the holistic perspective cannot be seen in any theology in my limited understanding. Therefore, it is my proud privilege to present it before you. See, the Vedas, they are very important as they aim at preserving and nurturing the ecological balance through the cosmic order. The Vedas, they prescribe a series of measures like maintaining the purity of water, air, plant life, careful protection of the flora and fauna, minimal exploitation of the natural resources, and ensuring the biodiversity. The Vedas, they caution the human beings not to pollute the waters and air, which are crucial for maintaining the life in the planet. They also impel the people to maintain the water bodies and atmosphere pleasantly. The Vedas give the clarion call against the global warming by a single statement, Madhumagam mastu suryaha. That means let the sun be pleasant. The meaning of this we have to understand. But the problem is that many of the times we recite things, we don't understand, we don't apply our mind, and there the problem starts. Then the flora and fauna have to be preserved properly as all beings are subtly interconnected in the grand scheme of creation. The Vedas present an overview of the universe, including the earth, sky, heaven, directions, intermediate quarters, fire, air, sun, moon, stars, water, herbs, plants, space and consciousness. Prithivyantariksham dyaurdisho vantaradishaha agnirvajiradityas nakshatrani apavodhayo vanaspataya akasha atma. In that, the beauty of the Vedas is that every time the Oshadaya will come, the animal will come. See, like that, you cannot see any, even in the slokas also, you do not have this type of thought, foresight, wherein you have an integrated framework which brings all beings together. That is the beauty of the Vedas. The Veda says the cosmic order has to be maintained for the sustenance of the universe with its myriad wonders and splendor in the best interest of the countless species. According to Atharvaveda Samhita 1462:1, Atharvaveda Samhita 17:1-5, man has to endear himself to all beings. See, I will not be quoting every Vedic thing, but here and there I will be doing it, otherwise it will be boring for you. The sun is the basic source of all energy and the provider of light and water, according to Mahanarayana Upanishad 15:2. Then the holistic vision of the Vedas, they become self-evident if we critically analyze the numerous statements pertaining to the role and responsibility of human beings. What it says, in the morning also we had great talks about the Ishavasya Upanishad. What it says, Tena tektena bhunjita ma ghridaha kasya svidhanam. Ishavasya Upanishad. First thing. Therefore, we have to sacrifice to get something. Therefore, in that sacrifice, the world runs. Now, coming to the Pancha Mahabhutas, The Vedas talk about the creation. This is the foundation of the environmental concept. What the Vedas says, Akashat Vayuhu Vayoragnihi Agnerapah Adhyah Prithvi Prithivya Oshadhayah Oshadibhyo Annam Annat Purushaha. Therefore, the creation, the earlier first thing was the Akasha or space. The beauty of it, it has got only one quality in terms of Shabda. Therefore, the Vedas also is known as the Shabda Brahma. Therefore, that is the importance of the sound. Therefore, the Akasha is having only one quality, that is known as the Shabda. Then, Akashat Vayuhu, Vayu is having, that is air, is having two qualities in terms of Shabda and Sparsha. Touch is also included here. Then the third one, Agni, has got three qualities encompassing Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. That is, form is also included. Therefore, Apaha, water, has four qualities comprising of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa. The taste is also included here. And the Prithvi, the earth, possesses five qualities in terms of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Gandhavati Prithvi. That's an important thing. Therefore, wherever this Gandha is there, the Prithvi Tattvam is there. These are all the Panchamahabhutas. Now, in terms of identifying the human personal qualities based on the inherent nature of the Panchabhuta, see, what is there in the outside is within the inside of a person. It's within the, what is there in the Anda is there in the Pinda, within the person. Therefore, the Akasa denotes the vision. Vayu represents detachment. Agni means simplicity. Apaha refers to equanimity, and Prithvi resembles patience. Not only that, the Vedas declare that the Panchamahabhutas, in terms of Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, and Prithvi, are honey to all beings, and all beings are honey to these primordial five elements as well. In the US, you call everyone as honey. Here also honey is there. I think the word for honey is madhu. Don't take the Tamil madhu. Madhu means honey. Therefore, we will talk about that later also. I've got something to talk about madhu in a deeper sense. Now, how the grossification has happened, what the Vedas say. See, the Tanmatras, Sabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, all the five Tanmatras, what they did what is known as the Panchikarna process of pentamerous self-division and mutual combination. This is known as the Panchikarna. The Tanmatras, they exist by themselves. Phase 1, phase 2, tendency to divide into two parts. That is, everyone wants to divide into two parts. And the third one, they actually divide into two parts. And the split is complete. And then the fourth one half remains intact, and the other half split into four. That is why for the Akasha Tattva, if you have one half Akasha plus mathematics professor's genius is there. Before him, I am scared to talk about mathematics. But here I have to tell you, one half of Akasha plus 1/8 of Vayu, 1/8 of Agni, and 1/8 of Prithvi. These things make us one. This process is known as the Panchikarna process, which is given in the Vedas. Like that, every Panchabhuta does, and from the Tanmatra, the gross elements, they come into being. That is also given beautifully in the Viveka Chodamani of Shankaracharya. He has given it beautifully, how those things happen, and how you can relate to the gross from the subtle. Parasparam Shaihi Militani Bhutva स्थूलानि न स्थूल शरीर हेतवः मात्रास्तदीया विषया भवन्ति शब्दादयः पंचसुखाय भोक्तुः. Therefore, this process is known as the Panchikarana. And what happens to waters? The Vedas are fancied about the waters. Lot of prayers are there for waters. Apo va idagam sarvam vishwabhutanyapah pranava apah pasava apo mృతమాపో నమాపర్ సమ్రాడాపో విరాడాప స్వరాడాప సంధాగస్యాపో జ్యోతిగిష్యాప సత్యమాప సర్వా దేవతా ఆపో భూర్భువ సువరాప ఓం. Therefore, water is everything. The waters, offerings to the waters of the wells, pools, clefts, holes, lakes, morasses, ponds, tanks, marshes, rhymes, streams, rivers, ocean. Given in Taittiriya Samhita 7.4.13. Waters are healing. Taittiriya Samhita 7.4.19. And they purify and make one bright. Taittiriya Samhita 1.2.1. Water confer bliss. Mahanarayana Upanishad 154. Water is ambrosia and medicine. Taittiriya Samhita 177. One shall destroy that causes pollution to waters, says the Mahanarayana Upanishad 158. The rivers are to be worshipped. In the Aghamarshana Sukta we have this, Namme Gange Varune Saraswati Eshutudristva Magam Sachata Parushniya Asikniya Marudhe Vitastayarji Kiye. This is also said in a different context. When the person passes away, when you have the asti, this is known as the washing away all the sins of the person during cleansing of the asti. This is being said, this mantra is said at least once in a lifetime. Even after death, one person listens that, then that takes him to a greater plane of consciousness. Now the advantage in reading Sanskrit and Vedic literature and talking in English, that your English also will get improved, because a lot of things, as the professor said, from the foreigners, we pick up a lot of words which are really beautiful. Even the translations, they are poems. They are like poetic, as I said, great people. I have got great admiration, but nevertheless, we have to go based on our own sampradaya. There's no doubt on that. And now about the monsoon. Now you are having the monsoon. Is there any reference about the monsoon in the Vedas, about the southwest monsoon? Morning governor also said that the Vedas clearly belong to us only, to this part of the world only. Therefore, there is a reference about the Salila Vata, refers to the wind from the water. The Vedas contain references to monsoon. Taittiriya Samhita 4.4.12, Rigveda Samhita 119.7, Rigveda Samhita 137.6, Rigveda Samhita 138.8, Rigveda Samhita 164.8, 188.5, 583.1 and 585.4. All these things contain reference to the monsoons and about the water, and about the wind which arises from the water. Then coming to the about the Parjanya. The Parjanya, you know that this is the rain god. It's very important for us to know, particularly people from Chennai. I think we may be having surplus, but anyway, people like us always want Parjanya to be with us always to resolve the problem of urbanization that we have in our place. See how the rain is coming. There is a beautiful statement in the Vedas. Yabiradityastapati rashmibhistabhih parjanyo varshadi parjanye noshadi vanaspataya prajayanta oshadi vanaspati virannam bhavat tanyena prana pranir balam balena tapas tapasa shraddha shraddhaya medha medhaya manisha manishaya mano manasa shanti shantya chittam chittena smritigga smritya smaragga smarena vijnanam vijnane na atmanam vedeti tasmadannandadan sarva Yetani dadhatyana prana bhavanti bhutanam pranirmano manasasya vijnanam vijnanadanando brahma yonihi. I am stopping, but the Vedas, they do not stop, they go on and on. You see how things are connected beautifully, from the rain to the annam and to the man. Everything is beautifully connected in this verse of the Mahanarayana Upanishad. Therefore, this is one important thing. Then coming to the flora and fauna. According to Vedic scriptures, there are 4 types of living beings in terms of Andaja, born out of egg, Jivaja, born out of womb, Shvedaja, born out of moisture, and Udbhija, born out of the earth. See, when the Vedas say something, you cannot quote the 5th one. That's all. Maybe biologists, I don't know, I'm not an expert. They have to confirm this or refute this. They cannot refute anything. Similarly, whatever Bhagavan says, Pachami Annam Chaturvidham, that's all. There is no 5th vidham. That is the beauty of the scriptures that we have to keep in mind. Therefore, all the beings, living beings, can be classified into these 4 categories. Now the Vedas inspire these human beings to nurture and nourish the forest and give paramount importance for plant life. See, we have got, when you have the structure of the Vedas, Vedas have got the Samhitas, the Aranyakas, the Brahmanas, and the Upanishad. And the Aranyakas are very important because the rishis, they dwell in the forest. aranye dhiyita. Chaturthakala bhakta syad aharaharva bhaikshamashniyaat. See, I am very embarrassed to talk in English in a forum like that. We should be talking only in Sanskrit, but unfortunately neither you nor I can do that. That's the whole problem. Therefore English comes to the rescue. Therefore aranye dhiyita, that means you have to reside in the forest with a lot of vratas, niyamas and things like that. Therefore, that life is very important. In what is known as the Siksha Sastram, there is an Naradiya Siksha is there, then the Vyasa Siksha is there. These scriptures, they talk about how to pronounce the Vedas, how to give that matra, balam, all those things, how to give that. They quote the examples from that for the forest environment. Due to lack of time, I am not going into those areas. Now coming to the animals, they are Vayavya, Aranya, Gramya. That's all. Vayavya, Aranya, Gramya. The birds are also included. Reference about the Garutman and other things. The list of animals, if you see, I have got a huge list from various, running to so many pages. Different types of animals, species. Whatever you name, it is there. And then the Vedas hail the trees, the roots, the panicles, the corona, the branches, the leaves, the joints, the twigs, the flowers and the fruits. Taittiriya Samhita 7, 3, 19 to 20. There are so many animals, bipeds and quadrupeds, according to Taittiriya Samhita 5 to 5, which have to be protected. Atharva Veda Samhita 6, 107.1. The cattle is the wealth. Madalla matrayavai. Selvathul selvam savichalvam. Selvam selvathul ellam thalai. Madalla, madu means cattle. In the Tamil also we call Madu means Selvam. Therefore cattle is the wealth. The Vedas also say that. And then man has to be auspicious to the bipeds and the quadrupeds. Taittiriya Samhita 2, 3, 14. One shall not find fault with the animals. Therefore you should not criticize anything in the creation. Everything has a purpose. We may be knowing or we may not be knowing that. According to Chandogya Upanishad 2:18:2. And the beautiful, in the Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, we have got the fivefold upasana of the Samam. Him means the goat, Prastava, sheep, Udgita, cows, Pratihara, horses, Nidhana, man. And beautiful thing about the fourfold types of horses. If you want to take horse, the Vedas give that distinction. Haya, when you want to refer to God, in that context you want to refer to the horse, it is known as Haya, like Hayagriva. You cannot use any other term. If it is with reference to the Asuras, you have got to use Arvan. If it is with reference to the Gandharvas, you have to use Vaji. If you got to use with reference to the human being, you have to use the word Ashwa. All these things are given in the Vedas. For those who want to know the English meaning, Haya means steed, Arvan courser, Asuras razor, and Ashwa horse. I think people here can validate. You have got the race club here. You can validate. And then the Vedas talk about the protection of the habitation. They underline the importance of protecting the habitation. The Vedas describe about fair and spacious habitation. Rigveda Samhita 671.6 and the need to protect the same. 671.3. They hail that trees are of the forms of Supreme Vishnu. Taittiriya Samhita 5 to 8. The plants and waters are to be considered as treasures for generation. Rigveda 774. The voice that is heard in the drum, the lute and flute is the speech of the trees. Beautifully, that's why Krishna also has this flute in his hand. And in the Siksha Sastram also I find reference about that as our expert sir will confirm about the Venuvadya and the Samagana, that comparison is beautifully made. And then the Vedas declare that the plants are the mothers and goddesses, and the trees are the homes and mansions. Rigveda Samhita 1097, 4 and 5. They inspire human beings to delight in plants and waters. Rigveda Samhita 774, and protect the trees. Rigveda Samhita 648, 17. The Vedas condemn those who pollute the waters as they sink themselves as well as their progeny to destruction. This is the warning that the Vedas give. Don't pollute the waters. नाप्सुमोत्रपुरीशं कुर्यात् न निष्ठीवेत् न विवसनस्नायात् गुह्यो वा येषोऽग्निः. There is an inherent fire in the water. Don't pollute it by any means whatsoever. Apsajyoti-pratishtitam jyotishyapa-pratishthitaah. Therefore, there is the power or the energy or the fire in the water. And if there is a day where the sun is very hot, then you have the showers. That follows Vedic saying, Agnerapaha. Everything is connected. If something goes up, to neutralize that, we will think that, no, Karnataka will not get water. Don't think like that. You will get enough water for all of you. You will have surplus and you will also pass it on to us. Therefore, both of us will be happy. That is the important message. That is the ecological view. The environmental view, only Karnataka. The ecological view, everything has got to be in togetherness. Therefore, with that prayer, I just continue forward. I have been given another 5. Maybe I may overshoot by 5 minutes, if I may be permitted, because I have to finish up very fast. Then the protection of the habitation. The Vedas underline the importance of protecting the habitation, and then the environmental protection is very important. What the Brihadaranya Upanishad 2.5.10, it says this space is honey to all beings. Space means Akasha, because you don't have proper terms and terminologies to translate what is there in the Vedas to English or in any other language. There is no translation for the word dharma. Like that, the Akasha is also, space is also confusion. A lot of important things are inherent in that, which is difficult for the translator to follow. Therefore, this air is honey to all beings, and all beings are honey to this water, and this fire is honey to all beings, and all beings are honey to this fire, and then this water is honey to all beings, and all beings are honey to this water. Then waters are to be freed from defilement according to Atharva Samveda Samhita 10.5.24. The Brihadaranyupanishad says this earth is honey to all beings, not only to human beings, and all beings are honey to this earth. As earth is a dwelling place for the human beings, other species, the Vedas repeatedly highlight the importance of taking proper care. Earth is a mother, Prithvi Mata. See, we have the Sukta, Sagasra Parama Devi, Shatamula, Shatankura, Sarvagam Haratume Papandurva, Duswapnashini, Ashvakrante, Ratakrante, Vishnukrante, Vasundhara, Sirasa Dharita Devi, Rakshasama Pade Pade, Udhrita Divarahena Krishnena Satabahuna, Bhumirdhenudharani Lokadharini, Muttike Haname Papanyanmaya Dushkritam Kritam, Toya Hatena Papena Jivami Sharadashatam. Like that it goes on. See, the earth is the mother, we pray to the earth. And most important thing I want to touch upon. See, all these things, whether these things are meant only to preach and get some certificate and get away. It is not so in the Sanatana Dharma, because daily we have to do all these things. For example, Trisuparna Mantram, Madhuvatarita Jate Madhuksharanti Sindhavaha Madhvirna Santodadhi Madhunakta Mutoshati Madhumatpati Vagambrajaha Madhudyaurastanaf Pita Madhuvan No Vanaspatir Madhuvagamastu Suryaha Madhvir Gavo Bhavantunaha. I have to go like an express, therefore I am going like that. Therefore, see, let the environment be pleasant, wherein everything is pleasant. Water, air be pleasant, rivers be pleasant, herbs be pleasant, day be pleasant, night be pleasant, earth be pleasant, sky be pleasant, plants, sun and cattle and whatnot. This mantra we have to say daily while offering food before the God. Therefore, this is a Nityanushtana for us. And if we want to offer oblations to the forefathers, we have to do it not once but twice. To the Matruvargam as well as to the Pitruvargam, twice we have to say that. Therefore, such a person, when he is there, Asagastrat Panktim Punanti, when such a person who is having a universal consciousness is sitting, all the sins of all the eaters are driven by that, by his presence. That is what he said. And also, Bhrunahatyam Vajete Granti, Ye Brahmanas Trisuparnam Patanti, Te Somam Prapnuvanti, Asagasrat Panktim Punanti. Like that it says. And not only that, during the Shannavati Pitur Tarpanam, this is being done. During the oblations to the forefathers, it is done. Trisuparnam, while eating, it is done. While offering to the food to the deity, it is being done. And also, when the Pancha Mahayajna, Panchavayete Mahayajna, that there the important thing is Yadbhutebhyo bhaligam harati tadbhuta yajna santishthate. Bhuta yajna we are performing, that means you are offering something to all beings. We don't take one who takes food by himself is a sinner. The Vedas condemn one who takes food by himself. Therefore, we have to live in that holistic harmony, and the Vedas, and we have got what is known as the Shanti Pada, which is repeated thrice, which means we pray for the peace invocation to bring universal peace and harmony. The Shanti Pada is to provide the threefold afflictions in terms of Adhyatmika, Adibhotika and Adidevika. These refer to miseries pertaining to the body and mind, miseries due to animals and other living beings, and misery is suffered due to natural calamities like flood, thunder, earthquake, tsunami, landslide, volcanoes, and so on. The sources for the threefold obstacles could be seen or unseen or subjective. Thus, as relief from the Tapatraya, peace is sought for the person, the environment, and the natural forces that they operate. Therefore, this Shanti Pada is always there. Therefore, with this Shanti Pada, I am going to conclude, and before that, I am saying that unless the human beings lead a responsible life with universal consciousness, in close unison with the natural order, so as to ensure universal peace and harmony, then alone this world can become a good place to dwell. This alone will make the Vedic statement, idam manusham sarvesham bhutanam madhu asya manushasya sarvani bhutani madhu, Brihadaranya Upanishad. Therefore, we end this presentation with the Shanti Pata, so that it is good for all of us. Shanta Sagnina Shanta Same Shanta Suchagum Samayato Antarikshagum Shantam Tatvayuta Shantam Tanme Shantagum Suchagum Samayato Dyav Shanta Sadityena Shanta Same Shanta Suchagum Samayato Prithvi Shantir Antarikshagum Shantir Dyav Shantir Disha Shantiravantara Disha Shantirakti Shantir Vayu Shantiraditya Shantir Chandrama Shantir Nakshatrani Shantira Pashantiroshadaya Shantir Vanaspataya Shantir Gaur Shantir Raja Shantir Ashwa Shantir Purusha Shantir Brahma Shantir Brahmana Shantir Shantir Eva Shantir Shantir Me Astu Shanti Abirgir Bhiryadato Navo Namapyaya Harivo Vardhamanaha Yadasto Tribhyo Mahi Gotra Rujasi Bhuyishtabhajo Atate Syama Brahma Pravadishmatam Mahasit. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.
विकण्णन् महोदयस्य समादरार्थं प्रार्थये. पञ्चतन्मात्रं वातावरणम् इत्यादि तस्य विषये यत् महोदयेन कथितं तद् निश्चयेन वर्णनीयम् आसीत्. अपि च सर्वेषां ज्ञानम् अस्ति एव यत् एषः आषाढः मासः, अर्थात् कालिदासप्रेमीणां कृते विशिष्टः मासः वर्तते. एतत् अस्माकं महत् भाग्यं यत् आषाढः मासे एव अस्य कार्यक्रमः समारब्धः.
K. Kannan said Sanskrit University is starting evening college classes for BA after PUC. Those who do not have PUC need not worry. We have already started Sanskrit classes in Bharati Vidya Bhavan, Pravesha, Parichaya, Shikshaka, and the next one is Kovida. Even though you have not even passed the SSLC, you can come to us. The classes will be on Saturdays only. Thank you. And we have also diploma in Bhagavad Gita, 3 years courses, 6 month semester, 3 chapters in a semester, and we have already coming to complete the first semester. We are starting the fresh batch from November. Therefore, the answer is we have Veda classes also every Thursday, Wednesday and Thursday, 6 to 7:30. We are teaching all the 4 Vedas, Upanishads, Rudra, Chamaka, Narayana Sukta, everything. It is conducted in Bharati Vidya Bhavan, please come to us and contact us. We will provide you all the facilities. Thank you.